Let's kick things off with your 9 questions that will define the postseason after a hot mess of a regular season. I want to start with the Toronto Blue Jays because you also wrote a separate article to the side about how you've called them the Paper Tigers, and now you have shed the label. I'll let you kind of run with this because I know you've had a fun relationship with Blue Jays fans. Felt like you were just telling it like it is, and now you're giving them praise. So what do you think of this Blue Jays team heading into the postseason now and not having to deal with a wild card round too?
It's good for them. And they've lost 6 straight games in the wild card round, 3 different years, 2020, 22, and 23. And for them to survive that really bad week at the end of the season and to come through at the end to get that bye, to get the AL East title, those are all really good signs. And the reason I called them Paper Tigers in 23 and 24 is because they were a team that did not play to their potential. It's as simple as that. They had a vastly talented group and they underperformed. This year's team is sort of the opposite of that. And not only did they get an amazing comeback of the year player performance from George Springer, they also got contributions from what Pat Murphy would describe in Milwaukee as average Joes. And I'm talking about Nathan Lucas and Miles Straw and Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider, and all the guys who aren't stars on that team, but make valuable contributions on an everyday basis. Addison Barger. I can go right down the line. Tyler Heineman. Name one after another. And that's why, for me, that's been a very interesting team to watch. And I'm sure for fans there, it's fulfilling to see everything come together in the way that it has. Now, does it guarantee they'll beat the Yankees or the Red Sox? Of course not. It's the playoffs. Things happen. But they are well positioned. They are a complete team. And their bullpen, aside from Jeff Hoffman, has come around. Now, Hoffman's had some struggles. His velo is down. That's going to be a concern. But I kind of like where they are right now. And, of course, that's why I wrote what I did, just in praise of them when they were deserving of praise for the year that they had.
Ken, just because they don't have to play the wild card round and they haven't won a game in those rounds, does that mean that their wild card round now goes to the division series? Because technically it's not like you just get to skip the round. It still means the same thing. So can they win this division series against the Yankees or the Red Sox, who are, we know how hot the Yankees have been, and the Red Sox are going to be throwing it all out there. So whoever wins that series, can the Blue Jays turn their fortunes around and beat the next team?
Well, AJ, the wild card round is unique, of course, because it's 2 of 3, and you can go out really quickly. And that, of course, is what happened to the Blue Jays. And they're in somewhat of the same situation as the Brewers. The Brewers have lost 5 straight opening series as well. One was a division series. I believe the others were wild cards. I'm not exactly sure. But yes, there is that thing hanging over them where they've got to get through that first round. And they'll have home field advantage. They've been a really good home team at Rogers Center, which has had an electric atmosphere, especially in recent weeks. So everything is there set up nicely for them. Whether it happens or not, the Yankees have played really well the last few weeks. The Red Sox, if they get past the Yankees with Crochet and Bayo, they could be a problem. So I don't rule anything out, but at the same time, the Jays should be well positioned.
Should we look away from the fact that they don't have a lot of homers, that they don't play what is considered winning playoff baseball? Is their style, the team they built, base running, defense, never strike out in today's baseball sense, is that can it lead to success in the playoffs and buck the trend that we've had for the last however many years?
Well, home runs certainly are good. We all know that. But the Jays do have the lowest strikeout rate in the majors. The Brewers are not far behind them, and they're a comparable type offense. These are offenses that put pressure on defenses by putting the ball in play. And I believe the Blue Jays had the highest batting average in the league, and we all discount batting average now. But what does batting average translate to? Base runners. They have base runners. It's pressure on the pitchers. It's just a different kind of way to go about it. Now, they have the ability to hit home runs as well. It's not their strength, obviously, but can they win a series? Can they go far in the playoffs with this style? I don't see why not.
Ken, I can tell who you're rooting for with your black shirt, so we won't tell anybody, but I know what that means. So we'll let people try to figure that out.
Lots of teams wear black.
Well, I know though, Ken. We're simpatico, so I know what it means. It's okay.
You're not going to let anyone in on this? I have no idea what he's talking about.
Mind here.
But we had this argument earlier, and I'm throwing for you a curveball here. Besides the fact, who's your X factor in these playoffs? Because we had a whole conversation about who mine was, who Kratz's was, and Scott couldn't come up with one. So who's your X factor in these playoffs for a team to make a run to win the World Series?
Define X factor. What do you mean? The guy who would be the key
player to winning, Kratz thinks Kratz is like Tarek Skubal. Yeah, no kidding, Kratz. Tarek Skubal pitches well. The Tigers do well. I'm talking under the radar guy that no one's talking about that has to show up big, because there's always this guy that shows up in the postseason that can stand out and say, boom, he carried them. Marco Scutaro, the 1 year for the Giants, right? I mean, that's an X factor.
Okay, I was going to say Jeff Hoffman, but we've already talked about him. He certainly would be an X
factor.
Gosh,
you love the Blue Jays now. They have black in their uniform.
Anthony Volpe would be one. Anthony Volpe, if he has a big postseason, he's done that before, and certainly coming off a poor regular season, it would be great for the Yankees if he did that. I'm trying to think of some others. How about Kike Hernandez? He always seems to be an X factor in the postseason. Those are two that kind of jump out to me. I'm not sitting here thinking of them all off the top of my head, but those two, Ryan O'Hearn in San Diego could be another one. Any number of guys, AJ, could be heroes in October. We know that.
Yeah, and mine was Tyler Heineman because he was our guest today on the show. I wasn't supposed to do an X Factor, and my guess is, I guess maybe AJ's talking about the 1919 Black Sox with the black shirt. I don't know. I'm lost.
Ken knows.
Okay, you guys have your inside jokes. I'm going to bring it back outside.
About Scott.
He doesn't know. I don't know. Sometimes you got to just let him cook and let everybody else be befuddled. Let's go to the Brewers. So this is the best record in baseball, right? And this is a team that's consistently made it to the postseason. I think sometimes we look at the best record in baseball and don't necessarily look at the state of the team right now. This is a good team, but Brandon Woodruff is out. And you wrote about some of this in the Athletic story, which I encourage people to check out. The one I want to pinpoint is Jacob Mizorowski. Remember how much we spoke about him, and yet he's a rookie, and he might not really factor into much of the postseason with the Brewers. I know he's going to play and pitch, but he really hasn't looked good the last couple months.
He hasn't. And Scott, I'm glad you made that point about them because they have been the best team in baseball. Their record reflects that. So do their rankings in ERA, runs per game, defense, any number of different scenarios. The problem I have, the concern I have, I should say, with the Brewers right now is that they're not the team they were necessarily in July when they had Woodruff, when Mizorowski was going well, when Trevor McGill was healthy, and everything seemed to be really going well. Now McGill's back, DL Hall's back. Their bullpen might be getting put back together in a really good way, but those are concerns still. McGill missed some time. Hall missed some time. And yes, they pitch Sunday, and yes, the hope is that they'll be back to form, but that is my concern. Really, they had one point, and I talked about this repeatedly, a depth of starting pitching that was kind of the envy of the sport. And now they're in a situation where Jose Quintana, coming off the IL, is going to have to be their Game 3 starter most likely. It's just not as stable a situation as they've been in. Now, that said, this is still a very good team. This is a team that knows how to win games. And this is a team that has figured out its pitching the entire season, going back to opening day when they had nobody, when everybody was hurt. So I'm not discounting them by any stretch of the imagination, and no one should discount them. I just wish, and you can say this for a number of teams, I just wish they were in a little bit better spot.
Ken, I just saw them on Saturday, and yes, McGill's back. They're not sure. I don't know if they're sure what they're going to get from him because I think when he threw his thing, and maybe his velo was down a little bit, so they're hoping it jumps back up with the rest. And DL Hall, they don't know what they're going to get, but Jose Quintana, they don't know what they're going to get. It's like just such a crazy story that they're where they are, and there are just so many question marks for this team, which scares you a little bit if you're a Brewers fan. But I want to say this, and I think you would agree with me with this. Brandon Woodruff being out is, to me, sucks more than any other player being out just after what he went through. And I talked to him on Saturday and we had a great conversation. He's a great guy, but man, I just have to say this, that him being out with the arm injury again, after all he did to come back from the shoulder injury, just breaks my heart. Like, we're not supposed to get personal. We're not supposed to, but when you see a guy, especially as a former player, go through what he went through and now he can't pitch at the biggest stage, it literally just it pulls at your heartstrings for me.
Oh, I'm with you, AJ. And Brandon Woodruff, you're right, is one of the better guys in the game. And he had an incredibly difficult rehab. And it took him a long time to get back. he was back and he was pitching really at a high level again. But when it comes to injuries, and I had a whole section in this article today about injured players, Bo Bichette, we might not see him. Kyle Tucker, we're going to see him, but he's going to be maybe compromised. Will Smith, the same. There are so many injury situations that are worth discussing. I mean, my heart breaks for Zach Wheeler, too. This could have been a Cy Young year for him in a special season for the Phillies, and he's not going to be there. Trey Turner is coming off an injury. So all of these things are difficult for teams. Cade Horton with Chicago Cubs as well. But you're right with Woodruff in that his rehab was longer and more involved, and he's given his heart and soul to coming back. And for him not to be available here, I'm sure is crushing to him.
A team that probably nobody's going to talk about, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for even bringing them up, the Reds. Is there a scenario where the Reds can beat the Dodgers? I get it, anybody can beat anybody, but in what route do the Reds beat the Dodgers and stun everybody in this playoffs?
Starting pitching, and that is the route, and that is the way you can, in your head, think of the Reds pulling off an upset here. Now, listen, the Dodgers have tremendous starting pitching of their own. It's going to be Snell, Yamamoto, and Ohtani. It's ridiculous. They're all at peak form right now. But Hunter Green is at peak form right now. And in Game 2, they're going to go with Littell to start and then back him up with Lodolo, maybe get some lefties out of the lineup then, or vice versa, or whatever. And then in Game 3, they have another possibility with Andrew Abbott that is a Cy Young candidate. So that is the way that they can do this. Low-scoring games and just being really good with the starting pitching. Now, that said, in 2020, in the pandemic year when they had the 16-team playoff, the Reds were similar. That's when they had really good starting pitching with Bauer and some others as well, and they didn't score in the wild card round. That's my concern here, that their offense, which is inconsistent at best, is just not going to be good enough to take advantage of that starting pitching, assuming it's good. Other than that, I still think this is going to be competitive because of that pitching. And even the bullpen right now for the Reds is in a pretty good place.
Hey, Ken, do you agree with the decision by the Dodgers to wait until Game 3 for Shohei Ohtani? And then if there's no Game 3, he would pitch in Game 1, assuming they win. The reason I ask this is, what if they lose? What if they're losing in Game 2 and you're like, damn, I wish we had Shohei Ohtani pitching. He might have the best stuff on the entire team, at least top 2 or 3. So just curious if you think that they should have laid it out that way. I know Yamamoto's good. I know they spent money on Snell and he's really good, and they've all been good lately. But can you imagine if they lose 2 games here and Ohtani didn't pitch?
Well, can you imagine if they lost 2 and Yamamoto didn't pitch? I guess you could imagine it without Snell, but
Yes.
They want Snell in Game 1 for whatever reason. Okay. The idea with Ohtani, and I understand it, is to give him a day off after the day he pitches. So he'll have that after Game 3. He would have that after Game 1 of the division series, the way that is laid out. There is a day off after Game 1 in the division series. That's what they're trying to do here. Remember, they're thinking about long-term always with Ohtani. And it's not just about this year. It's about preserving him. This guy's had 2 major elbow surgeries. They cannot take a chance and lose him. So they're just trying to give him the best opportunity to be at peak form. So I definitely understand it from that perspective. And if they go out 0-2 to the Cincinnati Reds, well, man, they should beat the Cincinnati Reds with Ohtani pitching Game 3. They should be able to handle this. Okay? Put it that way.
We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the fact that they got rid of Game 163. Yesterday, we could have had an epic day of baseball, in my opinion. What's your opinion on Game 163s? And do you know the genesis of why Major League Baseball said, we don't like these. They get in the way of our off days, and we can't push things back, and travel is tough.
I love Game 163. Who doesn't? But when they went to 12 teams, this was the price that the sport paid. And the reason is they don't want to push back the wild card round any further. That would push the division series back further, and then you're having an even longer layoff for the teams with the byes. I understand it, and actually it makes sense in my opinion, but at the same time, something is lost. And you go to 12 teams, you've got to have 12 teams, man. Oh, we got to have 12 teams, give more teams a chance, get the additional revenue. Okay, we all understand that, but yes, something pretty magical was lost. AJ, I believe you played the Game 163 or 2, and it's incredible. It's a 1-game playoff for the division title or whatever the case might be. Yeah, it would be nice if we still had it.
Yep, I'm with you.
Today's the anniversary, Ken, of
what?
the 2008 game, I believe, the blackout game.
So maybe that's
we played two extra games. We played 2 extra games that year, believe it or not. So they had to back it up 2 days because we had to make up. So we played 3 games in 3 days that year. We had to beat the Tigers, the Royals, the Tigers, and then the Twins in 3 straight games. And one of them was a makeup game, and the other one was the game 163. And then the next year we beat the Indians/Guardians. So we beat 4 different teams in 4 days, technically.
Wow. I just want to know why. Yeah.
And that, Scott Braun, is why I'm wearing black in tribute to the Chicago White Sox of A.J. presents.
Words coming right out of my mouth, but into Ken's instead. Ken, you're literally saying exactly what I was going to say. All I want to know is this inside joke. Is it something we're not allowed to say on the air?
Yes, you're not allowed to talk about it.
Okay. Then
like Fight Club, Scott.
I can't wait for the text.
We all know who Ken's favorite team is.
The group text coming in hot. Right. It's not a baseball team. It's something else. But whatever that is, Ken, good luck to your team and enjoy the start of the postseason. We'll see you on Fair Territory on Thursday.
Scott, I want to make one thing clear. I don't have a team. People say I hate their team. People say I love this team or that. I don't care. I just care about good stories, entertaining games, and going about it that way. Okay? It's on the record. I don't have a team. Thank you.
Thank you. And FT is mostly the same way, broadcasters, etc. It happens all the time.
Wink,
and
wink, Ken.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job if both sides are saying you love and hate their team. That means you're covering them correctly. Ken, thank you. Enjoy all day baseball.
Thanks, guys.
That's FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. That is the Inside Scoop presented by Lids. New sponsor alert. Text territory to 29017. You just type 29017 in your phone and text territory. What happens? 20% off your next headwear or apparel purchase at any U.S. Lid store. Or you can smack that QR code on the screen for more information as well.